Anywhere you go, give it all.
Hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Amelie if you're new here. If you're not, welcome back. And today's video I'm so excited for because I finally made my skincare video. I'm just gonna post like a few pictures. This was me in the end of 2021 and then pretty much all throughout 2022 up to like the end of summer. And I just want to preface, I'm not saying that my skin is terrible, but it was bad for me. So I'm very aware that there are a lot of people who struggle with much worse acne than I have ever dealt with. So I'm not trying to be insensitive to that. I just wanted to state that my acne in these pictures was very uncommon for me. And I knew that something was wrong and I knew that I could fix it because genetically I've always had pretty good skin my whole life. So when it did flare up, I knew that something was wrong. But I just want to preface that I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that my skin was super bad. I'm very aware that I am privileged to be able to call this my bad skin. But I do feel like throughout my skincare journey to getting where I am now, I've come across a lot of tips that have helped me achieve my skin from what it is today from what it was a few months ago. So with that, I'm gonna go through my nighttime skincare routine with you guys, my morning skincare routine with you guys, and then we're gonna wrap it up at the end for a little chit chat about habits and tips that I have for truly clearing up your skin. Good evening, you guys. This is the night portion of my skincare routine, and I feel like people always think that skincare routines have to be like so extensive, but really mine isn't. It's all about consistency. But I already showered, so I'm already all clean, and I obviously don't have any makeup on. But if I did have any makeup on, the very first step, like this is the most important part of my skincare routine, is taking off my makeup. I never ever sleep in my makeup, no matter how late I'm coming home. Even if I spent the whole day traveling or if I was out with friends, I always make sure to take my makeup off before I go to sleep. So I just take it off with my Cellar cleansing water, and I use the waterproof one because I go in the pool a lot, so I wear waterproof mascara. So to make sure I get it off, I use the waterproof micellar water. So that's my first step. I already did that today before my shower. But then the next step that I always do, and honestly the order kind of changes around, but this is like my holy grail. So every night I put on different gel, and I will give you guys a warning. I have heard that people can have reactions to this, so definitely do your research first. Make sure that you're not allergic to anything, and then obviously if it starts causing you any irritation, don't use it anymore. But at least for me, I've seen amazing results. I feel like it's really gotten rid of any acne scarring that I've had. It also just cleared out my skin in general, like just pimples. I just put on about this much, like a pea size, and I rub it around, and then I make sure to spread it pretty evenly on my face, a very thin coat. And then I also make sure to get it all the way up on my forehead. Sometimes I have to add a little bit more, but especially with this, since it is a retinol, make sure that you go a little bit and then add more rather than putting on too much, because again, I'm not like a dermatologist or anything, but I don't think that it's that good for you to put a bunch on. And then also sometimes I'll work it down on my neck if I have any extra. So then once I do that, it dries pretty quickly. I make sure to moisturize. So this is also super important, especially because when I go in the pool, because my high school season of dive is starting, my skin gets very dry. And also different gel can cause your skin to be dry, and that is the only kind of side effect that I would say that I get from it, is that I have a few dry spots. So like here, and then sometimes by my nose or under my eyes, it'll get really dry. If you guys have watched my previous videos, we've been through it. We went from using hand lotion to body butter, but now I think that I'm finally using the right lotion. I just use this Cetaphil non-scented face lotion. So I do this after using different gel. I honestly don't know the order, but it works for me. I just feel like it's good to moisturize after using something that's gonna dry your skin out a little bit. So that's what I do. And I make sure to work this down on my neck as well. And I also kind of just like give my face a massage while I do this. I don't know if it actually does anything, but it's kind of similar to like gua shaing. But I just kind of push up on my face. Same thing with my jaw. I just kind of move all of the tissue, or if my face is puffy, I just kind of move it around, give it a little massage. So then honestly, that's it for the night portion of my routine. If I have pimples, like big, like ones that are actually ready to be popped, this is the most important part, and it's honestly so hard. Don't pick them. I used to be like a clinical picker. I would literally pick every single thing. My strategy with skincare, I would literally take one of these things and I would literally just go at my skin. Like I would pick my skin until it was bleeding, and then I would put Neosporin, a band-aid on, and then go to sleep and then hope that it would heal overnight. And I think that that caused like a lot of acne scarring for me, which caused like even more problems for me in the future. So don't do that. But if I do have pimples, overnight I will use pimple patches. So right now I'm using the Neutrogena acne ones, and they have these small ones which are really good for like smaller pimples, and then they also have like these big ones which I like to put on my forehead or my nose, which just like gets out all of the gunk, and these do work. I also really like these acne patches from Target. I'll put a picture right here. I use both of them. They both work. It might take like a few goes depending on the type of pimple that you have, but I find that these do really work, and it pulls like all the white stuff out and it doesn't leave a mark. So that's my nighttime routine. I don't actually have any pimples, thankfully. I feel like my skin is in a very good place right now, so I'm not going to use any of these, but if I did, this is what I would put on my skin instead of picking. And then I sleep with these on overnight, and then I take it off in the morning, and then we're good to go. I know a lot of you guys might have been expecting a very like extensive skincare routine, but honestly it's all about consistency. And then also the second part of skincare that I will talk to you guys either before this or after this, I don't know the order that I'm putting it in, but that is my nighttime skincare routine. I'll also put on some Vaseline on my lips, which isn't really skincare, but it still just kind of makes my face feel really nice. But that is the nighttime portion of my skincare routine, and then I will see you guys in the morning for my morning skincare. Good morning, you guys. It's currently 4:25 a.m. I'm up this early because I'm going to the gym. I literally just woke up, so I'm sorry I look very rough. I'm very tired. I kind of have like two morning skincare routines because I have a pre-gym and then I have a post-gym. So pre-gym, first thing that I do is I wash my face in the morning. Even though I'm gonna go work out, I just feel like I get really oily overnight, so I always wash my face, and I use this Neutrogena Stubborn Texture, and I don't know, I feel like it really helps with like any texture that I ever get like here on my face and my nose, so I make sure to wash my skin. Also for this, I just use regular cold water. I've heard it's better to use cold water for your face than like hot water. I honestly don't know, that's just what I do.
Give it on. Anywhere you say, anywhere you say, anywhere.
Now that I wash my face, the last thing that I do is I re-moisturize, and this is really important, especially after using different gel, because it does dry out my face sometimes. So after having it on all night, I just go back in with moisturizer, really just make sure that my face is nice and moisturized, and then I keep it really simple. Again, it's all about consistency, at least for me. It's not like a super extensive skincare routine, but I just find that this has really worked for me over the past few months. So obviously I'm gonna go work out now and sweat, so I don't like put any makeup on or I don't know, add anything else to my face because it would literally get sweat off. But I will show you guys the very like little thing that I do after I work out. And I know, again, it's not very extensive. It's all about consistency for me. Doing this every single day just really helped my skin. I just got a little more ready for the gym, and I fully forgot to show you guys what I do, not every morning, but on the mornings that I have extra time. I do have a gua sha. I don't always use it, okay? I'm gonna be fully honest, but I try to, especially when my face feels like extra puffy, which honestly, it does feel a little bit puffy today. So again, not a professional, this is just what I do, but I'd go from my like chin up my jawline, and I'll do that a few times, and then I'll do that on the other side as well. Obviously I'm going kind of fast right now. Then I kind of take like the side and I go by my eyes, and I go like up towards my head, and I'll do that on both sides. And I don't know if this does anything, but sometimes if I feel like it'll go on my forehead, just because it also feels really good. And then I'll also go down my chin. And again, I don't do this every morning. I just do this on the mornings where I have a little extra time or I feel a little bit extra puffy. And honestly, I don't know if it works, but it makes me feel better. And it's just like an extra part to my skincare routine. So now I'm gonna go to the gym. I'll pick up the camera when I'm back to show you guys the like 1-2 other things that I add into my routine when I finish working out. Okay, we're back for the gym and it's time to get ready for school. And the last thing that I wanted to show you guys is kind of the first step of my makeup routine, and then I just figured that I'll just show you my like everyday makeup routine, because I do think that putting less makeup on my skin has made a difference, not only in like my confidence and like how comfortable I feel wearing almost no makeup, and also just obviously putting less stuff on your skin is better for your pores and everything like that. This is the very first thing that I put on my skin, and it's also from Neutrogena. If you can't tell, we're big fans of Neutrogena here. But it's this primer, and it's like a glow serum, and it's like extra hydrating, and it also has hyaluronic acid in it. And for whatever it's worth, I feel like this has made a difference in my skin, not only because this seriously makes your skin glow so much, but I feel like the hyaluronic acid really also helps my skin. Again, not sure what it does, not a dermatologist, but I have heard people put this on their face before, and I feel like it has helped my skin. So I rub this in everywhere. Sometimes literally I'll only wear this because I just feel like it makes my skin so much more glowy. I can't tell if you can tell on camera, but I promise you it makes my skin like feel so refreshed and glowy. Then after this, sometimes I'll put concealer under my eyes, but honestly I'm not even feeling that today. I've been feeling really amazing in my skin recently, and I just want to ride that wave and like wear the least amount of makeup possible. But I do put on some blush. This is the Rare Beauty blush, and I'll just put like a little bit on my cheeks, and then I blend it up. Especially now that diving has started, putting a lot of makeup on just like really isn't an option, because it's just gonna come off like anyways when I get in the pool. But I'll just put on a little bit of blush to add some color to my face. Sometimes I'll add bronzer, but I don't really feel like doing that today. Okay, I don't know the difference between bronzer and contour, so if you do, please tell me, because I'm not a makeup guru whatsoever, and I like how it makes me look tan, but I don't know the difference. And then I got this new highlighting stick. I kind of swap between the Rare Beauty liquid highlight and now this one. So this one is by Merit Beauty, and it's this highlight stick. And I'll just put a little bit on my nose like that. Blend it in a bit. And then I just work it up my cheeks. And I like this because it kind of already blends in for me, but then I'll just like go with my finger a little bit and even it out. And then the last step is just a little bit of mascara. My mascara kind of changes, but right now I'm using Sky High mascara. And again, this is also waterproof just because I'm always in the pool nowadays, again. And I thought I'd give you guys like a little hair update. My hair had been looking amazing and feeling amazing, like super, super healthy. And now that we're back in the pool, I feel like it's starting to thin out a bit again. But I'm not that mad because I saw how fast it was getting healthy again. So I think that once high school dive season ends, it'll go back to how it was. So it's okay. It's just kind of like annoying because my hair was finally getting healthy and now it's just gonna get unhealthy again. On days where I do lighter makeup, I don't like to put on a lot of mascara, but the difference is like there. So I like to look awake. Also, you guys, at the time that I am filming this, we are so close to 50,000 subscribers, and that is just like insane to me. Like, it doesn't feel real. Every single one of you guys means like the absolute world to me, and I remember starting this and freaking out over like 1,000 subscribers, and now we're at 50K almost, and I'm just like blown away, and I'm just so grateful for this opportunity that you guys have given me. And I feel like Also, we have such a strong community, which is something that I really value on my channel, because I feel like I get so much support from you guys in my DMs, and you're always asking me questions and supporting me and leaving such amazing comments that like absolutely make my day. So I'm so grateful for you guys, and I'm just like so excited, and you guys have seriously given me so much motivation, you don't even know. I get a lot of messages and comments saying that I inspire you guys, which like makes my morning, but also you guys inspire me. Like, I don't think you realize how much of a rut I was in a little bit of 2022. I just like was not feeling motivated, and having this platform and sharing my tips and my fitness story and just like everything gave me so much more motivation, and seeing that I can like make a difference in your guys' lives really like re-sparked my passion, and I'm just so grateful for you guys. So that is my like everyday makeup routine. Super light, super simple. I really try not to put face makeup on like ever. Sometimes I'll put on concealer if I have like blemishes or under eye bags, but that is my everyday makeup routine, and that was the last step of my skincare routine. Okay, let's talk skin. So, being fully honest, I was gonna like put on makeup and get all ready to record this part of the video, and then I thought to myself, and I was like, wait, like that's obviously not what you guys are here for. And also I feel like this is also proof that what I'm telling you does work, because yes, skincare is one part of it, but there is so much more behind your skin that is more than just like putting products on your face. So I want to show you guys, this is me, no makeup, no nothing, completely raw, natural face. Sorry, my eyes are kind of red from taking off my makeup, but I've been feeling really good in my skin, which is really amazing, because for so long I just felt terrible in my skin, and I literally could not leave the house without makeup on. And I also want to preface that I'm not saying that my skin was bad or that I like really struggled with acne, because I know that I'm blessed with having good skin, and I don't think that my acne was ever that bad, but it was bad for myself. And I believe that your external is a reflection of your internal, and my skin was never that bad. And then all of a sudden, just one summer, it really just broke out very badly for me, at least. And that's when I knew that something was really wrong, because my skin never got that bad, and it did reach that point where I was just like very uncomfortable to look at myself. I was always breaking out. It was just like not a good place, and it also affected my mental health. So that's how I knew that something had to make a change. And I would say that my skin got pretty bad from around November, December of 2021, pretty much all the way into summer of 2022. And now it is winter of 2023, and I feel like my skin has come a very long way, and I'm going to share my 3 biggest tips and changes that I made to my life that I feel like really benefited my skin. I also want to say that if you are struggling with acne, obviously these tips might not work for you. You might want to talk to a dermatologist, get on Accutane. I'm not a professional at all. These are just the tips that I have that really worked for me. We already talked about skincare. I showed you guys my skincare routine. It's really all about consistency. You don't need like a billion products on your face. You don't need to buy the most expensive things. Just like your local Target will have all of the products that you need, or at least that works for me. But along with being consistent with a skincare routine, I have 3 huge tips that I swear by that saved my life when it came to my skin. The first one, I feel like everyone always says this. We all know about it, we all talk about it, but what does it really mean? And that is diet. You might look up, how do I get clear skin? And a billion things will show up. Quit dairy, quit gluten, go on a juice detox, drink a ton of water. And while those all may have their place, it's really very individual, because you have to know what works for your body and what doesn't work for your body. So for me, at least, if I eat a lot of dairy or a lot of very like oily, fatty things like processed foods, or also gluten, I notice that my skin tends to flare up a little bit more. My body feels more puffy. I just don't feel good. And in this time period where my skin was like abnormally bad, I was not prioritizing my diet, you guys, like at all. I was working out, but when it came to nutrition, I just wasn't there. I was eating a lot of crumble cookies because a new Crumble had opened up nearby, lots of ice cream, just stuff that really messed up my stomach. And my skin also reflected that because my insides weren't happy, so neither were my outsides. So I really tried to be intentional with how I ate. So first, I obviously noted what did not feel good in my body. So that was like a lot of dairy, the really processed foods, gluten, just stuff like that. And obviously, if you guys have watched my other videos, you know that I am not a believer in restriction. I always eat foods, even if they're still gonna make my stomach hurt, I just kind of accept it and eat it anyways because it's not worth losing the memories over food. However, you do have to have a balance and a moderation, and when my skin was really bad, I don't think that I had the best balance. So I really worked on being intentional with my foods. So I focused on eating more greens. I also tried to drink a lot more water, which definitely does help. I also drink a lot of teas because I personally really struggle with drinking water. Like, I just never reach for it. So I found ways to incorporate water in my daily life that wasn't just like plain water. So that was like teas or flavored water mix-ins, just stuff like that. And then going back to diet, I ate a lot more greens, reduced the amount of dairy that I ate. I wouldn't call myself like vegan or dairy free or anything like that because obviously I'll eat ice cream every now and then, and like Greek yogurt is a staple, but I do eat the foods with less dairy concentration. And then I don't think that this really has a part in it, but a lot of people ask. I'm not vegan, but I do mostly eat poultry and eggs. I don't really eat like red meats like beef, pork, stuff like that. I don't know, eating cows makes me sad, and it also just doesn't make me feel my best. So it's really individual, but I focused on eating foods that I know made me feel good. I avoided the dairy, the oils, and I really feel like that helped my skin. So it's not that I cut out a certain food group, I just was very intentional with what I was putting into my body and making sure that there was a balance of both, because before I was very imbalanced. The second tip that I have is stress. You have to cut out the stress in your life, because when my skin was at its worst, I was so stressed. This was a phase in my life where I was going through a breakup, and then there was also a time period before the breakup where I was like, do I stay with them? Do I not stay with them? I was always like tossing and turning about it in my head. I was also at a job that I did not like, and I was constantly thinking about quitting, but I never really made a decision about quitting. And again, that was just another decision that was on my shoulders. Another stress factor was my sports. I was a club diver at this time, and I knew that I didn't love my sport, but I felt bad for quitting, and so it was always in the back of my head if I should quit or not. And all of these decisions just add up, and you might not have such huge decisions in your life, but it could be even the small things, like your to-do list. If your to-do list is just sitting in your corner and you see it adding up, that's gonna be in the back of your mind at all times. Even if you don't know it, it's still sitting on your shoulders. So you have to just eliminate your stress. I know that not everyone is in like the financial situation to quit your job if you don't like it. So obviously take it with a grain of salt, apply it to your life. Everyone's lives are different. But if you have these important decisions weighing on your back, just make the decision. My mom once told me, you either make the right decision or you make the wrong decision right. At the end of the day, both situations, you have to make a decision, because if you don't make a decision, it's just on your back. You're gonna feel it. You're never gonna feel like light and free. And if you're feeling this right now and you don't know why, this might be one of those reasons. All of this stress, I never was happy. It just like made me feel really heavy, and my skin really showed that. I broke up with my boyfriend at the time. I quit my job, and I also decided to quit diving, and now my skin has never been better. And again, I did a lot of the more like negative decisions. Like, I decided to quit my job and like get rid of that. I'm not saying that you have to get rid of it, but you have to make a decision. So if you can't quit your job, you have to decide to be content with your job, or decide to be happy with where you are. You can always be moving forward and working for a better job in your future, but you can't be deciding, oh, do I quit my job? Do I not quit my job? You have to say, no, I'm not gonna quit my job. I'm gonna stick it out till December, and I'm gonna be content with where I am and move on with my life. Because once you get rid of these decisions, your life is going to be so much more stress-free, and your skin is really going to reflect that. Obviously, life comes with stress. We can't always completely get rid of it, but other things like self-care nights, daily walks, listening to podcasts, just doing things that you know de-stress you are so beneficial to your skin, because I feel like I sound like a broken record saying this, but your external reflects your internal, and if your internal is a mess, your external is going to be a mess. So if you have these things that you know de-stress you, really focus on them, because if you don't have a bunch of decisions in your life, it could just be homework, schoolwork, whatever it is, college. Just focus on the things that relieve your stress, and I promise that your skin is gonna thank you. The last tip that I have that truly makes the biggest difference in all areas of life, okay? This isn't just skin. If it doesn't add to your life, get rid of it. And again, all of these tips you have to apply to your life. I know that we all have things that maybe don't add to our lives, but we just can't get rid of them. But for a lot of things, you would be surprised that you can get rid of them. And this goes for people, experiences, emotions, habits, pretty much anything. If you just do like a little brain dump of things that really give you energy and add to your life, and the things that don't add to your life, you would be surprised with how many things that you can get rid of. So for me, no hate to this person, but I was not happy in my relationship, and I really had to do some reflecting, and I just decided that this person was not adding to my life, so I decided to end the relationship. This is just one of the examples of how I got rid of something that doesn't add to my life, and I feel like it's a little bit of an extreme, but I truly do feel like it benefited my skin, because I really focused on surrounding myself with only positive people. I also lost a few friends in this time period because I found that they were toxic or always making rumors about people, and I just realized that they didn't add to anything in my life. So I did decide to cut them out. I feel like these examples are kind of negative, but you could also switch this and focus on adding things to your life that give to your life. But for me, I just had a lot of negatives in my life at this point in time, so I decided to get rid of them. So it really just takes a lot of reflection and noticing what adds to your life and what doesn't add to your life. Those are like big examples, but these could be really small examples too. You have to protect your peace. So if you're home and you're feeling tired and depleted, and your friends text you, hey, let's go out at night, you might want to, but you have to know what your body needs in that moment. And even if you want to do something but you know it's not going to add to your life, you have to choose yourself. So these decisions aren't always easy. That's kind of like a smaller example, and then there are bigger examples, but you really have to separate your emotions from each individual experience or person and really hone in on, how does this thing or person affect my life? If it's positive, amazing, keep it in, get more of it. If it's negative, you have to get rid of it, or you can't expect your skin to thrive because you're not thriving. So those are my 3 biggest tips. You're changing your diet and really being intentional with it, managing your stress, getting rid of the stress factors, making decisions in your life, and getting rid of things that don't add to your life and only keeping the things that do. And then I also just wanted to add like a few extra helpful tips. I feel like when I get a good sweat in, like a good workout, my skin just glows a little bit extra because I feel like I'm sweating out all the gunk, and like that also helps me de-stress. So getting good workouts in, but then making sure that I like properly clean my face after is always beneficial. I also stopped touching my face and picking at my skin, and if I did have to, I'm really careful about washing my hands before I ever touch my face. And then lastly, just give yourself grace. Trust the process. I felt so negative and unconfident about my skin for the longest time, and I literally felt like I was never gonna get it to be clear. And again, I know that my situation is much better than a lot of people, so I'm not trying to be insensitive to that, but for me, that was like a solid 8 or 9 months of my life where I just like felt so terrible about myself when I looked in the mirror, just because I've grown up always having very clear skin, and so seeing my skin react and get that inflamed was just like very hard for me to see. And I knew that it was internal too, but I just felt very negative, and it really affected my mental health. And now I'm at a place where looking at my skin makes me feel really confident, really happy, and also because I know how hard I've worked to achieve this skin. People might see this and be just like, oh, she has good genetics, and that's true. I do have better skin genetics than some, but I worked hard to achieve this, you guys, through consistency with skincare and then also just being really intentional with everything in my life. I feel like the inner work that I've done has really shown on the external. So I wanted to talk about not only how important skincare is and like taking care of your skin and how I take care of my skin and the products I use, but also the internal work that I did, because I think that it can really help you guys and that you would be surprised how much your external reflects your internal. That concludes my skincare video. I'm sorry that it took me so long to make. I know that it was super highly requested, and I feel like for the longest time I was saying, yes, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, but I never really got the chance to like sit down and really think out everything that I did for my skin. But it's here now. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Please make sure that you're following me on my other social media platforms. I have Instagram, Pinterest, and TikTok. They're all Amelie Desai. And my fitness Instagram is fitwamelie. And I'm very active on all of these platforms. I share a lot of health, fitness, lifestyle, fashion content over there. So please make sure to follow me. You guys have no idea how much it helps. This community is growing so fast, and I love every single one of you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.